Welcome to Discipline Daily, where we put discipline first. In this episode, this is mainly for the dads out there, the new dads or the upcoming dads. So, we're going to be diving into some tips and tricks that I use, what I've found useful in my journey of becoming a new dad. I have a 10-month-old daughter, and it's an amazing journey so far. And my buddy Nick here, he has a kid on the way. What's up, Nick? How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Kyle. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You know me, every single day, it's a good day.
Yep. Every day we're above ground is a good day, right?
Yeah, man. So you've been kind of an eager little beaver and
Yeah, I've been doing some stuff this week, dude. I've been experimenting with some things that I'm pretty stoked about, actually. So I came across this thing called dopamine fasting, and what it is basically like you get rid of anything that's giving you dopamine spikes. So you'll get rid of cell phones, you'll get rid of television, you'll get rid of anything that's like giving you instant like little hits, little highs. So I've been experimenting with that for 5 days. I did it for 5 days, Monday through Friday. And it was pretty interesting, actually. So I did no phone, well, I use my phone for like calls, text messages, things like that. But I didn't do any social media. I didn't do any YouTube. I didn't do any podcasts. The only thing that I could do is books and audiobooks. So,
wow.
and I don't even think, I think if you're actually doing dopamine fasting, like the right way, you're not even supposed to do audiobooks. But I figured audiobooks is like, if I had a choice to listen to a podcast or an audiobook, I'm picking a podcast probably. So I figured that means that my dopamine wants that podcast instead of the audiobook. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. I noticed that I got a lot more things done. I had a lot more focus. It was crazy. Super interesting.
Well, I've actually heard of dopamine fasting before, and that's the beauty of fasting, man, is you could use fasting for everything. Like
For
I
anything.
fast, yeah, I fast from food weekly. I do a 24-hour fast from food. But yeah, it all that does too is it increases your discipline like big time because hey, you wanted to listen to those podcasts and stuff, and you're showing yourself who's boss by not giving into that temptation. That's great.
Yeah, the first like couple days were pretty hard. Oh, and you're also not allowed to eat anything, any sugar or anything. So you can't have any sugar because sugar or chocolate will spike your dopamine. So anything that spikes your dopamine, you can't have it. So I did away with sugar, anything like that. I had to eat mostly just my food, like my whole foods and everything. No sugar, no chips, no snacks, nothing like that. And it's interesting. The first couple of days were hard. I found myself like going on my phone almost in a habit way. Like I'd go on my phone and be like, "Oh, what am I doing? Like I can't go on these things. Like I can't go on YouTube or anything. So I have to just put my phone down." And it's crazy that just becomes an addiction. Like you're just addicted to that. You don't even think about doing it. It's just a habit. You just pick it up and then you're on it. So that was pretty interesting. And then I noticed that I just got a lot of stuff done. I got up in the morning, I worked out. I didn't have my phone. I didn't even bring my phone with me in the garage to work out. I just left it in the thing. I used my watch as a stopwatch, and I couldn't go on anything. And literally, I got so much stuff done. I'd get up, I'd work out, I'd make my breakfast, I'd get all my house cleaned. I get so much stuff done. I'd meditate, did so many things before it was even time to get ready for work. It was insane.
Dang,
And
that's
that's just before work. After work, I got a ton done.
yeah, I think that's kind of deep. It's called deep work where you're totally focusing and you're not letting outside influences, distract you. That's great. How often do you plan on doing this? Are you going to make this a weekly thing or?
It's crazy because so it ended Friday. So today I kind of gave myself like, okay, I can go back on my phone. I can, you know, go on YouTube, watch some TV. And it was crazy because I started becoming lazier. Like I was in the bed. Woke up, instead of getting it right out of bed, I was just laying in bed and just going on my phone, going on YouTube. And I'm like, I'm just becoming lazier. I'm not getting the things done I said I was going to get done. And I'm like, wow, like this is crazy how much like your phone and TV and everything can just keep you lazy. So I think I'm going to try to just limit everything. So I may not go on like YouTube or anything in the morning. Maybe I'll give myself a little bit of time to like watch a couple informational videos at night. or something like that. But I'm going to try to limit it in some way and maybe go 1 or 2 days a week where I just completely fast again, where I don't have anything. I think that might be what I do going forward.
I'm definitely going to have to implement this as well somehow. Even taking just a day where I tell myself, hey, I'm not going to go on Twitter. It's going to be a great thing for me to do. So
It's
I'm going
crazy
to,
too that your focus just goes up. It's weird. It's like almost like you have it's almost like a superpower in a way because you literally get so much focus. Like I have nothing to do. I can't watch TV. I can't go on my phone. So you're just sitting there like, okay, what am I going to do? Well, the cat litter box needs to be fixed. I got to do that. I got to go take care of that. I got a bunch of dishes out in the sink. I got to go take care of that. Oh, we can vacuum. I got time for that. You just have so much time to do stuff.
wow, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna have to do that. And all you're doing is just increasing that discipline, man. So
And also the little things kind of it gave me more patience and it gave me more focus and it gave me more appreciation for like little things. Like when my dog would come up to me, like I just felt more, I think I got more dopamine just from my dog coming up to me and trying to love on me, where I was like, just like, I love my dog. Like I want to pet him. I want to play with him. It makes you appreciate just little things a lot more. Little things become a lot more happier to you in a way. I can't really explain it.
cool deal, man. We're gonna have to we might have to do an episode on dopamine fasting
I
here
think we
coming,
should. Yeah.
because I want to dive into that. That's good, man. So that's cool. So that's what Nick's been working on. It sounds like that's some exciting stuff. So that's good.
Interesting. It's a work in progress.
Heck yeah, just like everything, guys. And we're not trying to come off as experts at anything. We are just documenting our self-improvement journey, and we're just trying to get better. So we're definitely not perfect. We're striving to be as good as we could be every single day. That's awesome.
What kind of things have you been working on lately, Kyle?
I've been still journaling every single day, and I haven't skipped a beat. So I've been really making sure that I hit my journal in the morning, and I'm loving it. So I'm working on my writing. I love reading and I love writing. So I'm going to continue working on that. That's the main thing I've been working on right now, especially since I'm trying to grow my Twitter audience. And right now I'm sitting at 1,472 followers. So I'm creeping up there, man. And the writing's going a long way. So
What kind of things do you write about normally when you are journaling?
usually I started off with just my thoughts, and it's early in the morning. It's usually I'm writing at about like 5:45. So I'm kind of trying to prepare myself for the day. I usually started off with something that I'm grateful for. I talk about what's going on in the day and a couple prompts that I use, but I'm only probably 20 days into this. So it's getting better and better though. And I'm just so excited for the future of being able to go back and see, hey, what was I doing in 2023? It's going to be, I feel like it's going to be such a great tool in the long run, because you could go back and reflect on what you were thinking about, how you were writing, all that stuff. Because eventually I want to try to write a book. So
Yeah, you can figure out like your mindset you had in this year and what things were going on. And
yeah,
maybe you ever had those times where you think back to a certain year and you're like, wow, that was a good year. I had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of good stuff going on. It's like maybe you can go back to that year's journal and be like, well, what was my mindset? Like, what was I thinking about? What things was I doing?
exactly. That's why you can learn so much from this. So it's kind of for the future. I'm writing for the future mainly, and I'm super excited about it. So I'm gonna try to not skip a day. If anything, if I do skip a day, I'm not gonna skip two. But I've made it a huge priority. So that's the main thing I've been working on. And
Nice. Well,
it's
that's good.
hey, so let's get into some Twitter news. I got
Ooh, juicy news.
Yeah, man, I got some cool stuff that's going on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, make sure you follow me on Twitter. It's Calisthenic Kyle. I'm trying to get 10,000 followers, so help me get there. All right. So first up, this just happened today. The brain loses 10% of its cells every decade after age 20. The brain loses roughly 40% of its cells by the age 60. And this decline accelerates rapidly after that. And then there's a comment there, my brain has lost 95% since having a baby. And then I responded to that, I'd say mine has grown about 95% since having a baby. Being a dad is extremely difficult. Difficult things grow the brain.
That's interesting. I mean, who wrote that?
Right? So this lady, she is actually a neurophysiologist.
Hmm.
So she claims she's a brain coach.
Hmm.
Yeah, I actually don't think that's true.
I
Because
don't
if
believe
any,
that.
I don't believe it either.
No. I mean, like, I feel like maybe because our society, we eat a lot of bad foods and we watch a lot of TV and we go on a lot of social media and our brains kind of get dumbed down. Maybe that could be something like why it shows up like that. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that can't be true because you get smarter as you get older. I mean, your brain goes through so much hard things and that makes you strong.
I thought the same thing, man. That's why I didn't really agree with it. That guy's saying is by having a kid, he feels like he's getting dumber. I feel like if anything, and this is how we'll kind of tie this into the dad episode. If anything, having a baby, it's just being a dad is very difficult. Being a parent in general is very difficult, and difficult things for sure grow your brain.
Yeah.
Because
Pressure makes diamonds, dude. In
yeah,
anything you do.
yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then next up, we got pretty insane obesity rates, man. So this guy says obesity rates have grown in the US, tripled in a single generation. The mainstream approach to diet and exercise is incredibly broken. That's insane. So, since 1987, the obesity rate looks like it was around 10%, right? And in 2021, the obesity rates in most states look like around 30%. So, literally tripled, like he was saying. Why do you think that is?
I think it goes into mindset. I think also it goes into our guidelines on diet. A lot of times our guidelines say that you need to eat foods that you probably shouldn't be eating. A lot of bad fats, a lot of seed oils and things that are used in our diet, like McDonald's and all these fast food places that use these bad oils. Nobody really goes to the store and cooks. Everybody's go go go, so they got to get that quick, food, which has a lot of terrible oils, causes inflammation, causes weight gain. And I think a lot of times people they think that they try to reinvent the wheel. It's you just got to eat less and work out more and do a lot more cardio. I mean, people who go and do bodybuilding shows, you've done a bodybuilding show, you know what you have to do. You have to eat less and work out more. I mean, it's just nature. I mean, that's how it works. And I think that you read studies like this where it says the workout and nutrition, way is broken. It's like, no, that's not true. Like
No.
people just have to get in their mindset and become disciplined and actually eat less, calculate what's in their food, how many calories are in their food, and do a lot of activity, get out more.
Yeah, man. And it wasn't a bodybuilding show, it was a physique competition.
Oh,
The
physique
physique
show.
guys, yeah, physique guys are a lot smaller. I'm not a bodybuilder level. Even though when I was there, a lot of the guys were saying that I should go into bodybuilding, but I I have no desire to do something like that because you got to be probably taking some stuff that I'm not willing to take.
Yeah. But
So,
the point is like they know how to diet down. I mean, it's
yeah,
not people know how to do this, and it's not rocket science. It's just a matter of are you mentally strong enough to do the things you need to do in order to get there and lose weight. And I'm sure there's a lot of genetic people who have genetics where they gain weight really easily. But that's where you have to know your body, learn what foods like make you gain weight, and stay away from those foods.
yeah, man, it boils back down to good old discipline.
Just
Discipline's
discipline.
everything.
And not snacking. I think I didn't really gain a lot of weight as a kid, and I think it's because I did eat, but I didn't like snack. Like a lot of my friends would snack all the time. They'd have chips and all kinds of different things in between meals. But I was always so go, 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 like skateboarding, doing this, doing that, that I didn't really have time to snack. And I think that's why I never really gained like a ton of weight.
Oh man, I was kind of a chubby kid growing up, but I mean,
Were
I
you a
was
snacker?
no, I was just I was kind of like a corn-fed friggin' farm boy. I drank probably a gallon of milk a day, but literally, I think it helped in the long run. Because I would eat just steak, potatoes, whole foods, but I would hammer some milk.
That's crazy that a lot of my friends that I knew that were bigger, they drank a lot of milk too. And that's where it's like when people tell you, "Oh, don't drink milk, don't drink milk." It's like milk is literally
A lot
a
of sugar.
life bringing and like a healthy, nutritious, dense
Oh
like
yeah.
food.
Yeah, dude, it's tons of protein. It's a casein protein, so it's slow digesting. But
Vitamin D, like just
problem is the carbs and sugar, and
yeah.
then it's fat. And when you're drinking a gallon a day,
Yeah.
oh, I do think it helped in the long run. It made me where I'm a friggin' bull, dude. I'm strong
And
as
I'm
hell.
sure you had a lot of bathroom trips.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got two more things to share on Twitter. This was by Mr. Beast. You might be familiar with this guy. He's a YouTuber. He said, if someone offered you $10,000, but if you take it, a random person on Earth dies, would you take the $10,000?
That's a deep question because I think a lot of people would probably say they would take it in this world.
Yeah. So 44% of almost 2 million votes put yes.
Yeah. I'm not surprised, dude. I mean, people do a lot worse for probably a lot less.
Yeah, you're 100% right. How wild is that, man? $10,000?
It's
That's sad.
crazy.
It's very sad. So, okay, last one. This was mind-blowing kind of, man. So this is from the world of statistics. Earth's oceans contain an estimated $771 trillion worth of gold,
Wow.
right?
Why
Seven.
isn't anybody trying to figure out how to get it?
Oh man, I'm like, what? 771 trillion?
That's it, dude. We're starting a company getting gold out of the ocean.
Yeah, man. I'm like, so I put this makes gold a rare and precious metal? How is it rare and precious if we have $771 trillion sitting in our oceans? It's not rare.
Yeah.
But I guess what people are saying is that so then Elon actually commented on this after I did. He put seawater contains enough of every element to support greater than 10x current civilization's needs.
Wow.
Like, man, what are we doing?
Yeah, I mean, why not put all of our resources into pulling out as much things out of the ocean and seawater that we can,
That's
you
what I'm
know?
saying, man. I always look at the ocean. I'm like, you look at the ocean, nothing's going on. Why aren't we utilizing the ocean? Instead, we're really destroying it. You
Yeah.
know,
We have this crazy resource that's like 70% of our earth or whatever it is, 60 or 70%, and it's just being forgotten about.
All right. So that was the Twitter news from Calisthenic Kyle. So now we are going to get into the dad stuff. So if you're a new dad or an upcoming dad like Nick, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And also, if you're a wife, you can also tune in as well. And leave a comment below if you are a wife. We would love to hear from you too, because I have mad respect for stay-at-home moms now that I am a new baby daddy. So, all right. So this episode is actually brought to our attention by one of my good buddies, Multibagger. You can follow him on Twitter as well. He's a new dad himself. He lives in Lithuania, which is a country in Europe, and we're in an investor group together. So he sent us these questions, and they are some amazing questions. So we're going to go through each one. All right. So question number 1, he says, signs of using your new parenting reality as an excuse to avoid keeping in shape and improving yourself.
Oh, that's a big one.
This was one that was really tough for me because I was about a year deep into the personal development journey in this. And when you have a kid, man, your whole world changes. So you have to totally alter it. So some signs you could see would be sleeping in. If you're sleeping in, you're basically using the kid as an excuse to basically give up on all your hopes and dreams and stuff. So,
How was your sleep affected when you first became a dad?
dude, it's big time affected because I used to sleep like a baby. Literally, I would have deepest sleep, very restorative, very good sleep. And once the baby came, it's
Is it impossible to get it?
good restorative sleep, yes, because it's going to be broken up. The baby's going to be waking up and at the worst time possible, right? Constantly, a couple times a night, and you have to just deal with it. You have to man up, and instead of getting mad at it, you have to trick your mind into saying, I get to get up. I get to get up and go take care of that baby. When you use the word I get to instead of I have to go get the baby and take care of the baby, I have to do this, I have to, that's not the right approach to do it. So you want to constantly say I get to, because not everyone gets to have a baby. So you're very fortunate to have a baby.
How's your sleep now that your baby's a little bit older?
It's still broken up, man, because so we have a Nanit cam on there, so we can hear her constantly at night, and she'll kind of wake up and cry a little in the middle of the night, and that'll wake me up because we could hear it. And sometimes I kind of have like nightmares where I think the baby's waking up and it'll wake me up, but you just deal with it. And I honestly, I'm not that tired really, so it's not a big deal. So you definitely don't want to use sleep as an excuse, and you don't sleep in. Set that alarm earlier. This is a time when you got to really man up as a man, take care of that baby, and this is where discipline comes into play again.
And what kind of things did you do when your baby was born? Like how did your workouts change?
My workouts changed completely. Because I used to actually work out in the garage on certain days during the work week before going to work, right? And now I realize that's not going to happen because I had to take care of the baby in the morning before work. So, and I was spending time so I spend time with Stevie in the morning before work, so I couldn't work out, right? So what I do is, and they're forcing us to take a 30-minute unpaid lunch at work, right? So I thought to myself, well, how can I use that 30 minutes to where it's not a waste? So I work out on my lunch every day, 30 minutes, Monday through Friday.
So that's a good way to not let it become an excuse because you just use time that you do have that's maybe dead time to get that
Mhm.
workout in. And I think a lot of people, including me, because I like to do a full workout, with a full routine and everything. And I feel like what I'm afraid of with my future son is that maybe I want to continue to work out that way. But I think people think if you can't work out that same way you want to work out, that you just shouldn't work out at all. But I
Exactly.
think you just have to change the way you work out and change the time you work out.
Mhm. Yeah, man, it's you got to be a master of time. I'll get into that a little bit more in the other questions, but yeah, some other signs of using an excuse as having a baby would be being lazy and eating poorly. So those are two things that you do not want to do. Don't be lazy, and make sure that you're giving your body what it needs so you can perform, because you're going to have all
That's
those
big.
extra duties, man.
That's big.
So yeah, so make sure you're drinking plenty of water, because you got to take care of yourself so you can take care of the family.
Yeah, that's super huge, and I think that's where that another part is where like that dopamine resetting comes into play. It's think about all the time I gained from not watching TV, not going on my phone. So I think it's sacrifice, and you just gotta feel. In my what I've envisioned for the future is it's gonna be sacrifice, and you're gonna have to find things that you want to do that you have to sacrifice. But what's more important, your phone and a show, or your health?
Yep. Yeah, man. So that was question number one. All
That's
right,
a great
on to
question.
question. Yeah, it's amazing questions. And if you guys have anything like this that you want us to cover, we'll definitely do it. You can just leave a comment in the video below and we'll address it. So question number two, signs you're neglecting your family duties by using your fitness slash self-improvement as an excuse, which is that's a great one, because people think, once you have a kid, you got to give up on all your stuff. So you basically, if you aren't getting your duties done, that's an excuse right there. So make sure you're getting your duties done.
How hard was it to set a routine? Because I know routines can be an easy way to make sure you're meeting all your duties because you have it set up in a certain routine. Is it hard to make a routine when you have a baby, or can you make a routine?
Yes, you can make a routine. That's where you got to be totally on par with your partner. You got to really schedule stuff out. And that's what me and Steph are really good at doing. I kind of, in the morning, I read and journal, and then I'll take care of Stevie up until I go to work, or we'll flip flop it. So she gets her time, I get my time. And you really got to coordinate it with your partner. If you're really good with that, you can fit everything in and you can still take care of the baby. You just flip flop, you got to coordinate. So in the morning, I wake up and say a lot of the times I wake up at 5:15, right? But a lot of the times Stevie wakes up at 5, so I can't read my book and journal right away. So sometimes Steph will actually I'll go get her, I'll get the baby, and then Steph will kind of watch her for about like 30 to 45 minutes while I read and write, and then after that I'll watch Stevie. So sometimes you can flip flop it. You have to
Yeah.
be really malleable. You
I think
can't.
something that I see a lot. I I don't mean to cut you off, but some things that I see a lot when I'm on my route, or the mom and dads, they're outside like jogging together with the baby in a stroller, like doing a light little jog, around the neighborhood. And I look at that and I'm like, that's awesome because you guys are you're making the time together to exercise because you want the mom to work out too. I'm gonna want Court to work out when we have a baby, so you're doing it all at the same time, so you're saving time in that way.
Yes, that's so I'll get back to this question. That's basically what I say is you can work out while watching your kid. And I like doing that too, because it kind of I feel like you're showing your kid that working out's good, and that she'll remember growing up like, dang, every morning I'd be seeing my dad do push-ups, and so you're showing her, and she likes to watch. So
Yeah.
I'll set her up in a chair and I'll get the yoga mat out and I'll just start knocking out push-ups or stretching or warming up or whatever. So you can work out while watching the kid. You're in the playpen with her, you could be stretching. So you need to be really efficient with your time and don't be like, oh, I'm watching the kid, so I can't work out. You can easily do calisthenics while you're watching the kid. You can stretch while you're watching the kid. And they like to watch.
That's big because I seen a video where a guy had his baby in like a playpen and he was doing Muay Thai, and he showed videos of his son every like year. The son's getting older and the son was with his dad doing Muay Thai, and then eventually his son started doing Muay Thai, and they eventually show him as like an older kid like really good at Muay Thai. And it's like he started at a young age witnessing what his dad was doing, and it instills in them and shows them and sets an example for them of what to do.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
big. I think I'm going to utilize that when I become
Yes.
a dad. Is I'm definitely gonna have a playpen in here, and I'm gonna work out, and I'm gonna show them like this is how you do it.
Yeah. Yep. And especially when they get older, man, it's just going to get better and better. So don't use any of that as an excuse. Don't think of what you can't do. Just think of what can I do in this situation I'm in? I'm watching her right now. What can I do? I could do some body squats. I could do some push-ups. You can do a plank and you can sit there in a plank and then the kid will go under you and then she'll jump up on your back. They love to play with that kind of stuff. So you can constantly work out. So don't use that as an excuse. So be a master of your time, be efficient with your time. All right, question number 3. Is balance possible and what is your spouse's role in it? And yes, balance is entirely possible. Well, like I said, once again, you got to coordinate with your partner and the balance will be there because it'll push your spouse too to improve themselves as well. So it's going to be a huge balancing act, but it can easily be done. But yeah, it made me realize that I mean, being a parent's really difficult, but it's even more difficult if you continue to improve yourself and don't give up on your dreams and passions just because you had a kid. And your kid wouldn't want you to give up on your dreams and passions for them. So don't neglect yourself because you can do it. It just takes hard work, discipline, time coordination. You got to be efficient with your time.
What would you say to people who have more than one kid? Maybe they have twins or they have two small kids. Uh, would you say the same thing? Do you think it would be possible? I know that me and you both don't have two kids, but I just think in my head, I've heard a lot of people say like, "Oh, well, I have two or three kids," and it's harder to do the things that I want to do because I got to watch three kids instead of only one.
I think you'd figure it out. You know, it's nothing's impossible. You gotta strip it down and just constantly think of what can I do with the time that I have,
Yeah.
and
And I'm sure
don't
as they age, when they get a little bit older and like 4, 5, 6, it's like you don't need to keep a constant eye on them all the time. I mean, they can play and you can get your workouts in and stuff.
yeah, and by then they'll actually probably want to help. So, but that's the one thing I've seen, and in our kind of our society has kind of said it's like okay to have a fat dad bod or whatever, and it's not okay.
That's not okay.
It's not. You're giving up on your hopes and dreams, and you're using having a kid as an excuse. You can't do that.
It's definitely not okay. I think everybody needs to try to be as healthy as they can for your kids. I mean, when you're 50 or 60 years old and your son is still wants to play with you and go places with you and do things with you, depending on how old you are, you want to be able to do those things with them. You want to
Exactly.
not be the dad that's like, I can't, like I got a bad back and I got this, I got that. You want to keep yourself young as you can.
I know, man. That's why I'm so excited about trying to do like the gymnastic type of movements that I do with like doing a human flag or whatever. Cause I want to show Stevie all these really neat gymnastic moves because I want her to get into gymnastics. And then it'll be funny when she goes over to her friends' houses, right? And she'll be like, hey, can your dad do a human flag?
Yeah.
And then
Well,
she'll
how
be like,
cool would you look too if you're doing a human flag? You're like 50 years old. You never see like 50
yeah,
year olds doing human
I know.
flags,
And then
right?
she'll be like, oh, my dad's over there sitting on the couch drinking a beer.
Yeah, watching football or watching TV or watching the Kardashians.
Yeah, and she'll be like, "What? That she will it'll blow her mind because she'll be like, man, I've never seen my dad do that. Like he does push-ups in the morning and he's reading and journaling and having fun and playing sports with me."
I think reflecting on what I'm gonna have to deal with. One thing that I'm going into it with is just telling myself like there's just gonna have to be sacrifices. And you're just gonna have to make sacrifices, but you're also just gonna have to rearrange your schedule and just try to figure out where to fit it in. And just fit it in. And if you like to do hour-long workouts, well, maybe you're going to have to do a half an hour-long workout, or maybe your workout will be cut short. Maybe you can get that hour one day. Maybe one day you only got 30 minutes, but you just got to do it. And don't think about it. Don't question it. Don't, oh, I don't know, because then you're just getting in your brain and you're going to talk yourself out of it every time. Because like the last episode with self-talk, we're our best salesmen. We talk ourselves out of everything. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, I shouldn't do that. I can't do that because I'm too tired and I need rest. You just got to make sacrifices.
Yeah, and you got to utilize their sleeping time. So remember, Stevie takes 2 naps. So she has 2 naps. So that's about 2 hours. So that's, if you want to work out, you have an hour. So I don't understand where the excuse is. And then Stevie goes to bed at 6:30, right? 6:30, you could work out. So utilize the times they go to bed. That gives you a ton of time.
What would you say about, because you're losing sleep, so what would your opinion be on recovery? Because when you do these workouts, recovery is a big important part of that. And you're not sleeping as much, so you're definitely not getting as much recovery. What would be your opinion on, how many times per week they should work out? What kind of volumes do you think? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I take the active recovery approach by, instead of sitting sedentary and not moving and trying to recover that way, I try to recover by moving. And that's the approach I'm doing. And so far it's working pretty good.
I think what I'm going to do is just listen to my body, but be realistic with it. If I'm actually tired and my joints are hurting and I feel like I need a break, then I'll take a break. But if my joints aren't hurting and I feel like I'm lifting a good amount of weight that I was lifting before, then I'm just tired. It's not my body unrecovered. It's just I'm just tired.
Yeah. Yeah. But in the end, you guys can do it, and you got to do it. You got to be strong for yourself. You got to be strong for your spouse, and you got to be strong for your kid. Your kid doesn't want to grow up and have her dad just a weak, fat, lazy guy. You can't do that. So you got to constantly be trying to improve yourself, have good habits, because they're going to instill those habits into themselves. So you're doing them a total disservice by being fat and having horrible habits. So have some good habits, and then your kids are going to grow up and they're going to thank you for that.
I think one thing I'm going to do too is stick to the basics. I think a lot of people try to fill in a bunch of stuff that they don't need. But I mean, really, you can get a great workout with push-ups, pull-ups,
No.
body squats. I mean, body squats can be a great workout. And if you do have barbells and dumbbells, then okay, stick to the bench press, stick to the deadlift, stick to the back squat. You don't have to add in a bunch of leg presses and a bunch of stuff. And, maybe you can even buy stuff to put in your home gym. Make a home gym instead of going to the gym. And that way you have no excuse, because you can use the excuse of, oh, I don't want to drive there. It takes 30 minutes to drive there. It takes 20 minutes to drive there. Go and buy a cheap setup, a really cheap setup, a couple $100 with a barbell and whatever. And, just do the basics.
Yep. All right. And I got some tools and some tips for you guys as well. That's freaking really going to help. So you want to make your life as easy as you can too. So there's a couple gizmos and gadgets that you could get to make your life way easier. And these would be the ones that I think are the best. There's this thing called a baby Brezza, right? It basically makes the baby bottle formula all ready to go, and it just dispenses it out, kind of like a coffee maker, right? So you're like, hey, I want 6 ounces of milk. You just hit 6 ounces, it'll pour you the bottle. I don't know how people would do that without it. It's amazing, because you need to make, 8 bottles a day every single day. If you're having to do that yourself, you're making your life way harder. So we got this amazing thing. It's called a baby Brezza. I'll leave the link in the description below for all this stuff.
I'm trying to get that.
Yeah, you got to get it. It's unbelievable. So I recommend that. And then 2, we got like a bottle cleaning thing. You still got to kind of clean the bottles out yourself, but it's kind of I think it's a desanitizer. So it desanitizes all the bottles, make sure they're all clean and all that stuff. That's huge as well. Because man, clean those bottles is no joke. Thankfully, Steph has like taken that on, and she's a bottle cleaning genie. So she kind of handles that, but I recommend that as well. And then the third thing is YouTube. And there's two channels that I highly recommend for the kids to watch. And I don't want Stevie watching any TV really, because I don't want her just, so we rarely have the TV on, right? But we use these two YouTube channels as a way. So say we need to eat dinner and we need Stevie to just chill and we got to eat dinner, right? And we'll turn it on, and we try to only have her watch about 30 minutes a day. But there's two channels that are amazing, and they're learning channels. The one channel is called Mrs.Rachel, and then the other channel is Hey Bear. So we kind of flip flop between the two. But dude, I'm going to be kind of blown away too, because we don't know what's going to happen, but it's literally turning her into a baby genius. Because think about it, when we were growing up, we didn't have these educational channels, right? She's just soaking it in, and she's like,
We had Big Bird.
bro, she's advanced, like super advanced. She's only 10 months old, and she's smart, super smart. So I'll leave the link to those videos as well, Mrs.Rachel and Hey Bear. It's a great way if you need time, you throw it on. You definitely don't want them watching too much of it, because that's just bad. Too much of anything's bad. So just use it as a tool to give yourself some time. It goes a long way.
That's awesome. I'm gonna definitely utilize those YouTube videos.
Yeah, man. So I hope we answered your questions, Bagger.
We'll probably do more of these too once my baby's born, and we can both have some really good input on it.
We are definitely going to be doing more dad stuff, because I'm going to be really excited for especially the first couple weeks where you have your baby. It's tough, man, not going to lie. So I'm really excited to see how you handle it. And we're going to get a bunch of experience out of this.
I think what's cool is like seeing the way all these things tie in together, mindset, self-talk, and it's all tying into everything with your daily life, and now it's dealing with how to be a dad, how to do it, how to deal with work, but then also fitting all these things in with one another. It's a cool journey to be on, and I'm excited.
Me too, man. So yeah, remember the key takeaways from this is constantly use in your head, I get to make the bottles. I get to change your diaper. I get to feed my baby. I get to go get her and put her in. Don't use I have to go feed her. I have to. If you're doing that, you're going to be beating yourself up. Remember that you're lucky to have a baby. It's an amazing experience. So constantly do that, and then just keep upping your discipline. You got to be disciplined with yourself and keep your duties going, and just help out your spouse and coordinate with your spouse. It's a constant coordination. Be like, hey, I'm going to work out for from 8 to 10, and then from 10 to 12 I'll watch the baby. And then they're like, okay, cool. So
I think another big thing too is, you know every day your discipline is a work in progress, and there's going to be days where you don't do the workout, and you don't do the things, and you just don't beat yourself up over it. Like, I try not to beat myself up over it, but I just try to become aware of the fact that I didn't do it, and I try to discipline myself and say, you need to stop that, you need to do it. But as long as you're aware of it, and as long as you're making an attempt to not do it, then eventually that's going to compound and you're going to end up winning. So,
yep. Yeah, awesome stuff, guys. So yeah, if you're a dad or a new dad, want some new dad tips or whatever, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. We're going to do more stuff on dad stuff along with our personal development stuff. So stay tuned for that.
It's a good episode, Kyle.
Yeah, thanks. I thought it was really good. So if you have anything else we want to cover, just leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel, like it, share it. Thank you so much for watching. Pain is good.
Pain is great.
See you in the next one.